ASD7. So I can watch everything here. When we get started in a few minutes. Make sure everything works here. Looks like we have some filtering problems tonight. SD, how you picking me up tonight? It's not the question I asked you. I asked you what's how am I coming in? I'm not even starting the chat yet. Good, good. Okay. I have a lot to talk about tonight. So on here, we'll start chatting. ZD, how you doing? Tonight. ZD, how you picking me up? How's your screen looking? You're starting here in about 2 minutes, guys. Just gonna look over my notes. Make sure I have... Yeah, it's still lagging a bit. Okay. It's probably because we've got so many. You figure that'd be a little bit different because everything's pretty much starting to open back up now. And we'll go over D-Day. All right, everybody, welcome to our weekly Saturday night chat. Tonight is June 6th, 2020, also known as D-Day to most historians and military veterans. Welcome to the show. The last 2 weeks going on, I unfortunately was in an area where I could not get any internet service and had a hard time. One of the campsites I was at, we weren't allowed to stream at all because the connection was so bad. So I do apologize guys the last couple of weeks, but I was pretty much at one campground up in Wayne County up in the Poconos for the past. Talk to you guys about that here in a little bit, about our adventures and our travels. But within this last week, and we can get right into it here. So as you know, in ZD, I'll let everybody hit it. Norfolk Southern had a pretty big nasty accident up in Hunts, New York. Little fender bender up there, we'll call it. They're still cleaning that up there. A lot of trains had to be rerouted for that area. Let me make sure I get the right thing here. The Norfolk Southern GP 38 5642 also got into an accident and actually ran into a FedEx truck making a crossing. And from what I see, it didn't look like it was a secured crossing. All it was the tracks, and I didn't see or hear the train coming, or thought he could beat it. The engine is slightly damaged from what I saw with the pictures, so they can only looks like it had some damage to some of the railings, so it doesn't. But nonetheless, the first responder GP30 and engine 5642 is in a and yes, NS310 derailed in Hunt, New York. I didn't get too many details on it. Yeah, there was a bit of an accident up there. That was interesting. For those of you guys that weren't with me, 3 weeks ago, my last stream, I don't know how many of you guys caught it, but the Delaware Lackawanna acquired another Lackawanna. Let me get this right. I think it's an H866 locomotive, and it should be coming to Scranton hopefully soon. Details on when that thing's going to be making its way up north, up into the Scranton area. I'd like to be chasing that train to try and catch where it goes. But that's some really big news. The Delaware Lackawanna now has 3 former Lackawanna engines. Got the GP8, which was the former Conrail engine. They've got the EMC Butcher, and now they have this little Lauco engine, which is pretty neat. So more history's coming back up into northeastern Pennsylvania. Home rails, or at least some of the home rails there. That's some pretty cool news that we can get right into. And before we go on, all of you guys that are watching it on YouTube side, make sure you hit the like button for this stream, and also if you want to the page down to the little dollar sign in the corner, You hit that and you put in what you want to, what you'd want to donate. How you doing? How you doing, my friend? Everything's starting to open at the borders can get open up so we can start rolling with some punches here. Derailment in Wayne. Jeff, I'm glad to see you're home from the hospital. I did get your message on my other you commented on one of my other videos. So I'm glad I'm home, and I'm so let's get out there and we'll start doing some rail fanning. So I thought I was all excited. They were opening up Valley Forge. As some of you guys know, Valley Forge is like right there. I was really hoping that they'd open up down by the Washington headquarters, because that train station is where I could usually go and I can get a track level view and shots of the trains coming through. They only open up the trails and maybe 2 parking lot where Washington's at, so I still have to try and run the whole 1.5 miles down to, that crosses over the Schuylkill River to catch anything. But within the past 2 weeks, those of you, because I haven't talked about the area, I just missed the Green Goblin, the Illinois Terminal 1072. I literally got to the bridge, the end of the walk bridge, and she was coming through. So I tried shooting a video, but all I got was going through the roadway bridges. So I missed it. And this morning, I wasn't awake anyways. Coming through real early this morning was the Penn Central 1070 Bash Heritage Unit. So they're constantly coming to this area, but just can't get there. If they'd open up the Bettsford parking lot, which is 1/2 mile down the road, I'd be able to park down in that parking lot, and it'll take me 5 minutes, but they have not opened it up yet. Uh-oh. Let's see that. Yeah, I missed you guys too. And those of you who didn't get my message, the reason why I wasn't on the last 2 nights with the RV and the place I was at, we were pretty much there the entire week, from the 22nd of May all the way to the 31st for an entire week. Honesdale area, about 45 minutes from north of Scranton, and about 30 minutes from Hones Historic Home. Wasn't any internet there. Had a hard time, and the internet that we did have, there was a policy at that campground to please you're not pulling the bandwidth away from everybody else. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, so a lot happened in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, a few weeks ago, and I caught. If you want to see it, if you want to put it through ZD, go ahead. Yeah, Sparky. Everybody's probably on again, unfortunately, on the. So I tried fixing some things and it's still not working. So I apologize. Which I'm kind of shocked, because my county, so everything's, some things are allowed to be open. You can do outdoor dining, which tonight, which is great. Me and Annalise today night, after in a while, we went to if you're familiar with King of Prussia Mall, they had a big fest tent set up on the outside, and they have 8 2-top tables and 4 4-top tables. So it was magnifique. Wilmington and Western is not opening until June 27th, 1 train per day. Yeah, Jeff, I've actually been looking at that myself, trying to check out some things. Since you brought that up, things up here. So the Stourbridge line, which is up in Honesdale, they have a lot of cool stuff up there. If you guys are ever up in the area in Sparky, when you come back, if you get a chance to go to Honesdale and run on the Stourbridge line railroad, it runs over the former Erie Railroad and some former D&H area. They've got a lot of neat stuff up there, but they don't have much saying, but according to their calendar, their first ride is going. So if that's the case, maybe we can get up there and I can get some rides and get some pictures. They've got a lot of unique pieces up as a former BL2, which is something that I want to check out. The Walkerville and Southern Railroad, they're also opening. Mountain View Railroad doesn't know Mountain View. Mountain View Railroads is the umbrella that runs and owns Cass Railroad and the Durban Rockets. Sorry, they have already started running. They're already running at least 2 trains a day. So you go through them and you can pick up with them, and that's down in West Virginia. Strasburg. Have to get the border open. I'm going to mention Strasburg in a little bit because there's something. It's something that's bothering me, but I'll talk. I'll bring up Strasburg here in a little bit. So the next thing in the news, I haven't opened the border. It's the bad part. If anybody's part of that Railfanning page that I have on Facebook, Railfanning Forum Adventures. There's another one called Railfanning Adventures. That's not mine. Railfanning Forum is mine. If anybody's on that page, poll. They've got another SW unit there besides the one that they currently have. They're going to have 2 switchers running. Once they put out a poll of 4 different paint schemes, a poll of what paint scheme everybody would like to see their this particular look. But if you guys go over there, you can go over and check out and make your vote. One is checked as the New York Central colors, which they're 8618. Another one is the Santa Fe blue and yellow colors. Another one looks like it's a Baltimore and Ohio color. It's all blue top. And the other one looks like another Santa Fe style color. The black with the silver striping going on the sides. It's a unique paint scheme, but seems like one of the ones that everybody's picked is number 4. That B&O color paint scheme. But head over there or go to Strasburg's page. They have the poll right there, and vote for what paint scheme you'd like to see them have that painted up into. Also, for you guys that would like some entertainment during the day for the COVID-19 show, the Northwest Railway Museum. They're doing live tours every day throughout their of all their equipment and their museums and everything. Go to their webpage, and they're also on Facebook. Go to Northwest Railway Museum, and you can watch their streams. They're putting up a new stream daily, which is they have a very rare SD18, and they showed this engine off that came out of the last SD18 that came out of DMD shops and was refurbished and was the last one painted up. It's the 193, I believe it is. But usually the those SD units had a high nose. During this refurbish. So that was the last tour. The president of the Northwest Railway Museum is actually the one doing all the tours. Another one that's doing tours as well, weekly, is the Grand Canyon Railroad. So again, they're also on Facebook. You guys and head on over to them to check out some of their videos and streams as well. Just if you want something to do when you're all alone with the showstopper cutting us off. Let's up. Nope, I was wrong. It's the Lake Superior Railroad Museum. They're doing tours. Go to Lake Superior Railroad Museum. Sorry, I got the West Railway Museum. Hey, Becky, how are you? The Northwest Railway Museum. They just brought a Northern Pacific number 924. It's a switcher engine. It was just brought back to life. That's also on the Northwest Railway Museum webpage. So we got another steamer that's alive, guys. Steamer Northern Pacific number 920. Sparky, well, I've got you. I don't know if you're into buying any more locomotives. And he owns a train shop called Yale Train Shop in Boyertown, not that far away from me. But online through Facebook, locomotives that are coming in. His last thing he just put through, he has 3 Conrail GP40 Athearn Genesis motors for sale. So if you want to look him up, I believe he's in one of these HO selling pages. He's selling through those selling pages, but he's got 3 Conrail GP40s for sale. Athearn Genesis, Sound, and I believe he's got 2 other ones. They're former Reading engines that are patched over as well, or became Conrail engines. So if you want to check those out, or I can show it to him here in a little bit and get a price for you. I know they're each one. If you're interested, I can show them to you. They're pretty nice locomotives. If I was able to get them, I would. Our museums that's open right now is the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. They're opening they're starting their stuff on June 4th. Yeah, and I'm buying trains for a bit and finish some stuff in the shed. No problem, Sparky. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Don't know how long I'm going to be there, but if you're interested, they'll be there for you. Says they're going to be opening and starting to run this stuff June 4th. And there's going to be tying with theirs as well. Put in from the garage to the deck on the train shed. Nice. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw my one post that I put in there for you. Just read it. It's toward the end. It's for you. And if you ever need anything. But that was a premiere, and I'm looking forward to everything that you guys have going on and coming up. The Monongahela Air Unit is leading NS 294 to East New Jersey. I don't know where NS 294 runs. If it runs through my neck of the woods, awesome. If it doesn't, I won't be able to catch it. I'm very new. Truck is still in the Fritz. I attempted to change tires the other day on it, and yeah, my strength back from my surgery, but the one tire didn't go as well as I wanted. Let's put it that. I pretty much have to. I put the dummy on the donut on the one. Gonna take the bad tire down and have that one replaced. Go flip them out, take that one down and get it replaced, and then the truck should be good to go, and I can start doing some more rail fanning. So, so I guess I'll get in my little rant here because it kind of bothers me a little bit. If you guys want to listen, I don't know if you guys want to agree with me or not. It isn't political, but it has to do with the showstopper. So you guys know, and this is nothing against Strasbourg. I love Strasbourg Railroad. It's a place that I frequently go to, and I will continue to go to. I love their mission. I love what they do. They posted, and I actually put this in my Railfanning forum as well. If you guys didn't get to see it, they posted. They haven't posted a definitive date on when they're going to open up yet, but they posted their restrictions that they are going when they open up. So the big thing is all their shops are going to be closed. They are buys their tickets online, and then you pretty much wait until your train comes in to get ready to. Every one of their cars are going to be at, as they're recommending by the CDC and the state, to be less 50% to be like 50% capacity, and they're going to have things set up the way they want to, and the cars, so they can keep your social distancing and everything. Fine and dandy right there. Two things that sent everybody off the hook, and I'm going to caveat this or compare this to what the Disney World is doing once they open up down there, and they're kind of already doing with Disney Springs, and people are flying off the hook. So you go in is going to do a temperature check. That's the number one thing. If you have the temperature that's recommended by the CDC and the State Department of Health, you're going to be asked to leave. You can't go in there. If anybody is elderly, or if anybody is, or not elderly, if anybody is sick or feeling symptoms, they're asking. People are flipping out about the having the temperature checked. The other thing that has the wall is having to wear a mask. Now, whether you like to wear the mask or not, the mask, but if it gets me to get out and be able to go out, I'm going to wear the mask. These people are flying off the handles saying they're never going to be returning again this year because they have the mask. The mask takes away from the smells of the steam locomotives and everything. It takes away from the end. And one of the person even said they'll start going out of state to go some of the other trains. Which my other caveat on that is Railroad, the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad, just said to get on their trains as well, you are going to have to wear a mask. So pretty much everybody is doing it. I will be patronizing, or good, not patronizing. I will still be frequently Strasbourg as soon as they start opening it up. I love it. I will wear a mask when I'm there. And the biggest thing with all these places that people need to understand, and this includes Disney too, this is private property. Okay? They care about their workers, taking care of the public, and doing what is needed. Okay? If you don't want to wear a mask, don't go. It's going to be all on their property. It's as simple as that. If any of these places want to turn around and tell you you have to wear a pink shirt while hula hooping, walking into the station, admission into their place, you're going to wear a pink shirt and a hula hoop. If you're not going in. They can tell and say what they want to do on the thing, and then now because they're in yellow phase and everything, I don't know where they got it from. That masks don't have to be worn anymore, and it's only encouraged. No, everything you still have to, according to the CDC and everybody, you still have to wear a mask to go into businesses and these other places. I don't know from. I know there are some people contradicting it, saying the masks are bad, which could be the case. But what's coming out is you still have to wear masks and social distance. But people are going off the wall on this. If you're not going to go, that's more riding space. Go on a train. That's fine with me. They can still take my money. Disney, Strasbourg, and all these other places can still point to wear a mask, and I'm going to go there. That's just me. Whether you like it or not, but these people page and go to that link where they actually put all the restrictions. People are tearing them apart. How dare you? And there's one guy that's in everybody's thing. It's kind of fueling the fire. But everybody's going to be doing it, except for one company that I just got, but they're out west. I just got a thing in the Oregon State Railroad Museum. They're the ones that have the McLeod 25 and motive up there. They're reopening. They're still going to have their capacities lowered and everything, but they're saying you don't encourage. They're the only ones that are really saying, but they're out in Oregon. Their Department of Health could be telling them to do something totally different. But here, which most of the state is still in yellow and everything, you still have to meet guidelines. And somebody had the goals and one of the questions, state guidelines, or is this coming from your own rules and regulations? Strasbourg came out and answered, and they said this is from our own regulations. And I love Strasbourg. I'm going to promote them. I love that they're thinking about the safety of their workers and their customers. So I'm still going to. You don't want to wear a mask? They're not going to let you on property. End of rant. Those of you who are in here, do you agree with me or disagree with me? We can start a bit of a dialect here if you guys want, or we just move on and let it go. Wearing masks might be the new norm. I agree with that. You could already see it. What I alluded to before, they opened up a lot of the restaurants and from the outdoor. They can only have outdoor seating for the restaurants. And we went to eat. We had to have the mask on when we got there, talked to the people. Once we sat down, we were allowed to take the mask off and talk and do what we need to do. But people have to get used to it for a while. I mean, I don't like it, but you're going to have to get used to it. If you want to go into places or that are opened up, you have to use it. Yeah. The thing is, even with the mask, if you sneeze, the particles are still going to be going out. And a sneeze can go up to 13 feet. If I decide to turn around and directly face you with that mask on, out toward you. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. SSD are making it optional. Depends on when you're at. And if I'm close to where they're moving into the green phase. And Sparky, believe me, I agree with you. I've gone with all the different things. There's so many different doctors that are saying that they're bad, and yet they're still all these imposing, or they're still saying everything that we have to use. But we have to do it. And Disney, the biggest ones, they're watching what everybody else is doing. They're doing the thermometer, same temperature, 100.4. You have to have a mask on to go into the parks. One of the other channels that I want to promote them again. They did stuff on the grand opening or the grand reopening of Universal Studios, and a mask is brought it up, and I thought it's hilarious. He showed they're making places where you can take the mask off and get a breather. The place that he showed in Universal breather is the smoking section. So it's a win-lose situation. But maybe by September, October, some of this other stuff will be lifted. You still can't have big crowds. The social distancing is still in effect. I use them on the ambulance, so it defeats the purpose when the people just cover their mouth and they have their nose showing. But yeah, these for everybody to start enjoying everything. But yeah, there's people tearing them up. And I guess Disney's already had a lot of everything from what their stuff is. Again, it's private property. If you don't want to wear it, you don't go in. Trying to make sure I got all the news taken care of here. That's up with the news that's going on and everything that I know of that's opening back up right now. Let's go on some good things here. Something I want to discuss. It happens on the 15th for Delaware. Okay. Yeah, they finally put the whole state into Jeff, so it's we're getting there, and I'm actually going camping next weekend with the RV, and the county that we're going to is a green and a little bit more is open, and you guys can I got permission to film there that campground as well. So expect the following week after next week a video on that place as well. Which, by the way, if those of you guys that haven't seen, I've already been putting up videos of our little adventures, so check them out. The second place that I was at, which is all last week on the internet, they did not give me permission to film on their property. They said I could be sued, but they can't. I don't have any releases. They said if you have a release form. So what I did is I took pictures of my family, and when there weren't any people, did a video or a photo montage video, which I put up a couple days ago. But before that, I was at the Mill, which Becky, you and Jake run that live stream with me, and you guys were actually there before, and met up with Steve. Any type of camping or anything, or if you come here and want to go to that campground, those of you guys that were on that stream 2 weeks ago, Steve Turtle, you subscribe to him. He's a really cool guy. He's funny. He's fun. He's also a vet like me. He's a work camper. But he's an awesome guy, and he's been helping me out with trying to start doing some thumbnail pictures with some different things to try and make some decals and everything, which one of the pictures he sent me, if you guys saw all my pictures that I did with the sea heritage engine, the way he sent it and the way it looked neat. If I could take that picture, and they're kind of coming at you, put them in an oval, but I don't want the railroad symbol on there. I want both engines to be completely blacked out. Locomotives there in like a egg-shaped oval in the middle, and then my catchphrase and I think that's going to be my decal, and I'm going to send it out to my buddy that makes decals and see if he can make me start making some and send out to another place that I got off of some of these travel places for magnets, and I can start selling some decals and magnets for the page. If I got to still continue working on photoshopping with it and continue working on it. But Jeff, you might not, because I don't know how the internet is there at that place. Some of these other places have good internet. That in Lancaster that had good internet, so I was able to stream. So if they have good internet, Saturday night I will do. Not, I'll just give you guys a quick heads up. I won't be doing anything tonight, and maybe I'll throw something in there for Monday night. Just following, but just watch. I'm every campsite I'm going to getting permission and doing up these videos. And this campsite actually has a lot of. I can actually do a couple of videos on some of the places there if they're open. And Becky and Jake, if you're, I'm going to be in York County where this campsite's at, so I'm going to be kind of close to you guys for next weekend. Well, I know you guys are down in Maryland, but I know from your videos and everything, you guys do a lot with York and everything. So maybe I'll catch you. I'm going to be at a place, it's called Otter Creek Campground in Airville, Pennsylvania. And because of my limitations, Hannah, she does all the setting up. All I have to do is drive and get it there. JB went down to the rail yard and sent me a picture in Conrail colors. Sparky, was it that Alco engine? If it was the Alco engine from, that's actually a former Wabash engine. If it's a C425. Because I know he's at Taylor Yard, so I may be mixing up. Was he at Taylor Yard or was he down at the if he's at DR Yard, yeah, that was the Conrail engine. If it was at Taylor Yard, it was the former Wabash. Whew. Down the couple people. Is the stream getting any better, guys, or am I still lagging? Lost my peep. One of the final things I'm going to talk about tonight and have some fun with here is still lagging. We're going to talk about June 6th, 1944. Today was the start of around 6:30 this morning. Back in 1944, the main infantry ground force started attacking. Started their siege onto the Normandy beaches. They already hit 5 different locations of B2 or Utah, which are both American. You had Juno, Gold, and the Sword. Gold and the Sword were landed by the British, and Gold was by, or Juno was by the Canadians. Operation Warlord. And Memorial Day was last weekend. These wars played a huge role in getting supplies and troops to the ports Gotcha. Helped getting everything to the different ports on the ships to World War II. The former Delaware Lock 1 in Western Europe, that was no different. Troops went in and out of there. All the guys from the Northeast and everything, they went out of there and they traveled to New York and New Jersey and everything, and that's where they left. It's kind of repeated again in 2002. To load all of our trucks up to be taken down to Mississippi when we got ready to go for our trip to 2005. Get ready for our trip to Iraq. So the railroads played a big part in that, which they still do today. Supplies around, our guys over there wouldn't have been able to get the stuff required that came over on the ships. D-Day and Omaha Beach, that particular sector was the most heavily fortified by the Germans, and we had a lot of guys. My grandfather was actually in an armored division. He wasn't on the initial landing. He was D-Day, according to my dad, D-Day. He came in on the 8th day with the armor and started moving through. And their objectives after they took the shoreline was to try and connect all the shorelines together and bring it together and close it completely off to the Germans. And then once they close that off, start moving inward and taking back the towns. I thought with that, I'd do a video montage. Marky, if you don't make it back on, thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. And John, since I saw you, to because of stuff with Disney, with Florida and everything, you get a day for free. I was talking with Anna and everybody in my party. I may rent in, nothing going on, and drive the 3 hours down to that sugarcane place, and hopefully they're running. And see that they've actually, from what I'm seeing on their Facebook page, they're not just using it right now. They're not just testing it. They're actually using it right now to get it its runs, which is really neat to see. And a lot of these road museums, the webpage, from what I'm seeing, is only used to buy tickets. They're telling you to go over their Facebook page to, if you want any going on within their organization. Sounds good. Because right now, all of our dining plans, Disney camps are available down there, so we have to redo everything. And their new thing is you have to pretty much reserve what park you want to go. If there's a free day and I could break away and go rent a car, I'll wake up and get some pictures if it's running, and then see what I need to see and flip back up that night. So that's something I've been talking with the wife about. But it's something I've been here. And Jeff, yes, they did win. Took them a while though. Operation War, the freeing of Normandy, the liberation of Normandy, it went up to August. And with those, they had Operation Cobra and a couple are pushing the Germans back. Straws where they pretty much took the Germans and funneled them in, and they pretty much made one area for them to there was only one Falaise Gap and Hitler didn't want to retreat. He's made them his people counter attack, but they had to listen. And that particular battle, when he wanted to counterattack with all the Allies, only lasted 24 hours. They barraged them, and the Germans fled back to the Seine River and back into Germany. And whatever was left, there was the Germans were either taken as prisoner, or they met their fate with the battle. But that was in mid to late August. And that was only 30 people at a time per train. I got this info from another Railfan. No, I'm not back on the ambulance yet. My doctor gave me 3 more weeks of, and I'm hoping that'll be the one where I can get back to work. I feel okay. I'm moving around. I'm bending. I still can't run yet. After this next one, I'll be able to get back on the ambulance. Only 30 people had a Railfan. The blue comic cars. Very nice. Again, send some pictures through. I'd like to see those cars when you get a chance. So that's 30 people for the entire train. Wow. You really have to make your reservations and quick on that. I just missed the contact with my people. Some of the patients that I deal with, and the types of patients I deal with, I can leave it. Back on track. So what I wanted to do, guys, like I said, because it is D-Day, I used to do reenactments down at Steamtown when they were held down there. They haven't been held in a couple years. One of the rangers every year, and I'd go down and help them. The pictures you're going to see, I actually didn't have my World War II uniforms then. I just went down and took it at Steamtown. Steamtown National Historic Site, again, like I was saying, during that week was telling the story on how the railroad soldiers around and then get them to the different ports where they need to be. And I took this day just to kind of show and commemorate what we did and what it was. With it, just to kind of get you into that era. So here we go. I hope you guys can see that. So you see the logo. You see your army here. And a bunch of the guys they just get off their trains and their travels, and they're resting up until they have to make their next move or get their next orders. And I got to duplicate pictures because I put the colored ones up, but I did some black and white ones as well. This next picture is this is Private so and so. I guess you could say he's getting ready to dig his fighting position to help secure and keep the enemies at bay. Wow. This really is lagging. The only bad part with the back of these pictures is I'm trying to tell it is there's a modern looking roundhouse in the background. That's the only bad part. So I'll wait till this catches up with you guys because it is lagging. So this is a little setup just to portray a MASH unit or even a small little aid station that the medics would have sent up on the battlefield. This guy, he's got the old-fashioned IVs. He has a really good collection and everything in there. And back then, the nurse, this is the nurse's uniform. They did have female nurses, and they were officers. And back then, female officers were also known as sir, not ma'am. And if anybody remembers the show The Golden Girls, the one who played Dorothy, Bay Arthur, she was a nurse in the military too, and she was an officer. And they said she was a pretty shrewd woman when she wore the uniform. This is showing the surgical table. All the instruments and everything. Those tubs at the end of the stretchers there, they're actually used for a couple things. Of course, warming water. Also using warm water to stale things and to clean off the patients. And also when everything's done to clean the blood off the patients. And here's a look at the full aid station from the one end to the other. So they'd actually come in from that far end where those uniforms are. They'd get treated. And then these beds that are closest to this picture, that's where they'd go to recover and sleep, basically the recovery area. Outside the tent, beyond those uniforms, there'd be an area called the triage area. So there's actually medics and other doctors out there on the outside that would triage the patients to their priority, the worst to the lowest. And they'd be treating them out there as well while they're waiting. And then your worst would actually come in, and that's where they start having the surgery or anything else. And then they'd move it into recovery or a waiting area. And on the far side, which would be behind where this picture was taken, would actually be another triage station, but this would be your evac level. Your evac levels are going to be evac to a hospital unit or out of the country or to another aid station via helicopter, ambulance, or even get picked up by the unit to go back into service. So that's pretty much how everything goes through. You got your wounded side where you're doing treatment, then you have your surgical and treatment side, then you have your rehab side, and you have your evac side on the other side, on the outskirts. This was our headquarters. There's the cadet officer on there doing what they do best, and both of his scribes here by writing down what orders he has to give, and then now they'll be running to give out those orders to some of the company commanders. And there's the guys lounging around again. So these old Jeeps, they were the Willies. These Jeeps they'd basically come in blocks and pieces. There's guys, and they've actually got videos showing them from back in the day. They could put together a whole Willie Jeep, the engine, the tires, and everything, in less than 10 minutes and have it combat ready to roll. And you see Steamtown in the background with the big boy in the background too. This is the chaplain's tent. Every unit has a chaplain, and also when you're away with your medical unit, they have a chaplain as well for different things. You guys know what I'm talking about. I just don't want to get morbid. There's the big boy awaiting her assignments. She's gonna move freight or she's gonna move troops. And of course, I got a diesel in that picture, which would be too early for this. And you can see the passenger train way back there in the distance. She's getting ready to move her troops down the line. She'd be moving them out down the Pocono line up to the ports in New Jersey, different ports in New Jersey's. Yeah, New Jersey. Different ports in New Jersey. And if they have to go on farther out to New York City and get moved to the ports in New York City. 47 here, she's winning her assignment to move equipment along with her. Yeah, there's actually pictures out there of what Steamtown looked like in the 40s. I could never get them. I'm going fast through all the colored ones because I'm trying to show this as if I was showing you guys this in the early days. This is a couple from the 1940s that was coming around and checking out their boys before they go. John, yes, they are. They have both Lackawanna coaches and CNJ coaches down here. They have both. Building them right now. Nice. Soldiers guarding their posts. That's a full Willie Jeep with the 30 cal machine gun on the top. In the background, you can see the Reading F3s. Well, they're both made by Baldwin. I don't know how their difference, the difference in the years or when they came off the line, but they're both Baldwin locomotives. 26 was actually she was actually the switch engine at the Baltimore locomotive, the Baldwin locomotive works. So she pretty much stayed in the hands of Baldwin. Oh, let's see, aid station again. That's our boys coming back from their guard mount. It's supposed to be a replica of a German motorcycle. Yeah, supposed to look like a German BMW. The Joe's got it. All right, I took a lot of pictures of that bike. We have Tech Sergeant Megumi here. He's gonna start looking over his troops to get them ready to move. All your privates getting ready to move out and cause a little trouble in the town where they're going to be at before they have to ship out. And this is Private Pitts pointing at somebody on the train. They're getting out of line a little bit here. And then we have Private Pitts again sleeping on the train, not knowing where his destination is going to be. Might be his last rest before he hops on that boat to cross overseas. ELNW 664, how you doing? This is our captain. He's in charge of the crew here. And Tech Sergeant Megumi, he's in charge of the platoon. And any of you guys from Steamtown, you know who that is down there on the far end. And these are troops standing on the line right to go, saying goodbye to their loved ones. These were taken between 2014 and 2015, DLNW. And again, our troops getting ready to go. So here's our company commander. And this is our XO. He's lieutenant. And this is your platoon sergeant right here. And this is your chaplain. The LNW, I'm circling his head. You know who that is. And you might know who this is too. And that's the final platoon picture before they start heading out. Ports unknown and destinations unknown. Maybe going to Italy. Maybe going to storm those beaches. Maybe going directly into Germany. And they're off, guys. They're off to their destination. So a little bit of the railroad. Get it played in, getting troops to where they need to go and where they needed to go. And I am back. Jump for joy. Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions tonight? Because I am pretty much everything that I need to speak about tonight is out there. How to move a headlight on an Athearn locomotive. SD, I don't know. I've never. I don't know anything about the wiring. You'd have to look at the schematics and how they have it. And if you're talking about that engine with the red flame on the front of it, I forget the name of it that I saw your video today. That's actually going to buy a from Details West or something, a headlight that goes into the nose, repaint the whole front end, take the LED lights that are up in that top end, redirect them down to the bottom. You're probably gonna have to fire that down. So it's flush. It looks like a regular roof. And then you're probably gonna have to take modeler's putty, stick that in there really tight, sand it down, wait for it to dry, and repaint the whole front. My thing is, though, where the headlights at it for mine, it's not gonna. If I was to buy that engine, it's not gonna bother me. I'd keep the headlight where it's at because it's what's an unpainted unit or anything in it, and you could pretty much start with a plain canvas and start moving everything around. Then that'd be fine. Unless you plan on totally tearing the whole engine down, like I am doing with 3 engines that I have here. It's just me, though. Yeah, exactly. Try and match that red color. And if you don't match the red color, and I wouldn't use a paintbrush on it because that would look sloppy. If if you're going to do and you had all the pieces together, I'd get paint tape, knock off everything that you don't want to paint, and I just hit it really quick with a airbrush paint or a spray paint. But again, you're not guaranteed to get that same look. But you have to buy a deep headlight, saw that little piece out, and put it in there, or Detail West, and then there's another company that you can buy a whole new nose with the headlight where you want to, but you still have to repaint that nose. And at that point, when you remove the nose, you're going to have to do the numbering, the renumbering, the stripes color for that locomotive. So I mean, that's the other way to go. You just buy a whole new nose or front end that has. You still need to wire the headlights from the top to go down into the nose, and then repaint the nose. A lot of work if you don't know what you're doing. I'm just telling you steps. I have an idea in my head on how to work it, but an engine that's already packed, I just leave it alone. Unless, you know, you're modeling your own thing, you know what the terrain represents and where it's at. Isn't going to notice. It isn't really going to care unless you get one of those people that are real pompuses. That is the wrong headlight for that engine. It's my engine. I know what it represents, and for the most part, it is for the most part correct, or 99% historically correct, minus the horn and the headlight. No, I don't have anything new. I've pretty much curved my train buying for a while, taking care of some other house bills, and also saving the money for adventures. We're trying to do at least one camping trip with the RV a month up until the closing season. Even probably do some winter camping as well, because there are some places that are all year round. See how we fare, because we're basically glamping now. We have heat, we have air conditioning, we have it all. Yeah, John, I all those the 4000 with the blue fronts, and then the ones with the black fronts. They did them all in roundhouse ready to run. They didn't. I'm surprised they didn't do an Apt and Jess, and then they didn't put DC. You have to do that on your own as well. Nice units to have, yes. But if you buy them the extra money on the on the decoder, and then put it in yourself, or have somebody put it in for you, thing matched up. That's the only downfall to those engines. I wish that they would have done a DCC version as well. In the wintertime in a tent when I was younger with the scouts. Basically, you want to try and have a fire going before you go to bed. You really load up your fire. You load your fire, or you fuel load your fire, so the fuel will go one way. You put straw or something down underneath your tent or your shelter that you're going to build, and you just stay warm. Keep your head warm. Keep your digits warm, and they close it. You go, and then they take them and you put them in the sleeping bag with you, so when you wake up, they're warm. And some of the ways that's going to reflect the heat, you can buy this stuff at Walmart. They have protective shelters. They're basically it basically looks like it's a foil blanket a reflective blanket. It looks like aluminum foil. Or you could buy the heavier duty one that's side, and then it's got the foil on the other side. Well, you take that and you lay it down, or you border the inside of your shelter with foil, and that'll reflect all the heat back in toward you. Just a couple different ways. With an RV, you just turn the heat on. This is the water, but I've got an electric heater cord to the our hose, and you turn it on and you heat it up, and then I bought a foam roll to put over it and a reflective heat tape to put over it. Tempt all warm, or the water warm. That'll be about your only concern, is your water freezing up if they got to go someplace else and fill your fresh tank up. I'd like to see ready to run come out with some DCC units, and I agree with you. They are there, and I'd love to have them. It's just it'd be a lot of extra money to get them to where you want them to be. Which, not saying down, just gotta get them all decoders. All my Atlas engines over here, unfortunately, because I have my Delaware lock. Unfortunately, all my DL engines, they're all DC. And I found somebody that would DCC them up. However, it's taking money, and they're still sitting here because I can't. We can't get it done right now. But and that's the way I'm going to run it. But winter camping, you just have to worry about the extreme. If you're going to do anything outside, make sure you're dressed in layers. And extra socks for your boots, and a good set of boots. That's the part where you can make or break your winter stuff. I mean, use your stuff that when you're going outdoors in the wintertime. If your feet get cold, that pretty much wrecks your hunting, because it can make you miserable. Insulated and can keep you warm, and socks that can keep you warm as well, as long as the rest of your body. If you start getting hot, you pull off in layers. The main object is just to keep everything warm. Next question, if you got one. Bring your own lawn, John. Yep. I've actually got all my stuff from the military. Well, the old stuff before they gave the new clothes, which is still works for me, and it still keeps you warm. And I use the stuff with the ambo, but the new that they have the marshmallow suit, which is your outer level if you're going to be in extreme like Alaska. That's your outer level, and a couple of lighter levels going down, and you also have a rain suit that comes with it. But it's made to build up your skin. You have like a neoprene light thing, and then after that you get a heavier neoprene uniform on, and then you put the different layers on. I've got a hot water heater on our thing too, so I get hot water. Your only problem is the water coming out of the actual the hose going from the camp spigot to your trailer. Even if I get that hose, keep that hose warm, I got to worry from the campground too that could get cold on its own. And I haven't heard any word on those places opening up yet. The ones that I had mentioned earlier in the stream, they're the only ones that I really heard of in my feeds, because like I said, I've got all these museums and railroad excursion places on my Facebook. So when they pop up with them, and then I'll share it. I'll share it for two reasons. One's for the people that don't come into the chats, they can see it in the Railfanning forum, so I can remember it when I go to make my notes to come in here to talk to you guys about it as well. But if you're not part of my Railfanning forum page, Facebook, make sure you go over there and ask to come in. Jerry is now, you guys all know Jerry. He's now with me. Just like here, keep it simple. Gentlemen will stick to the topics that we're talking about, unless I decide to go off on one of my little tangents like I've happened to do. It could actually run off of both. It's got both. I can actually turn them both on at the same time to get the water heated a lot quicker. Like say somebody's taking a longer shower. It's only like a 10 or 15 gallon hot water heater. It isn't that big. So if I wanted to heat the water up really fast, I could throw them both on. Just keep the electric one on. And it heats the water up fast and it heats the water up hot. I put my hand in cold water and I got a little scolded. But we usually just run the electric because I try to keep the gas for heating. Because in the wintertime, we're actually sealed on the bottom, so the piping or the ducting work for our heater only heats the top up, but it's ducted down underneath to keep our tanks and everything heated as well. But our next adventure, which I talked a little bit about, is next weekend. We'll be at Otter Creek Campground, Pennsylvania. It sits right off the Susquehanna River. And it's about 30 to 40 minutes away from Strasburg Railroad, a little bit farther west. So that's where we're going to be. We got a nice little corner site that pretty much sits off of one of the walk trails. And also, so I'll be able to get some pictures and some film footage of that. And I got permission to film on the site. So I don't have to worry about if anybody did want to make any trouble with for me. Is even with the Mill Bridge campground that I did, the first one that I did, if any of you guys see it, is I got up early to one morning when the sun is already out, so it's not too dark, but it's got that light haze, and I shot my video then before everybody was out cooking and everything. This way I could pretty much walk around with minimum people and describe what I'm looking at and put the video up. And what I'm doing is, as I'm not doing reviews, all I'm doing is showing the campground, where it's at, and what it has. And when it has, a lot of times we're looking, a lot of people when they're looking for campgrounds, they're going over to YouTube to find out what the campground's like. Done so far, don't have too many videos, or they're not very long videos. So I'm just doing but the Mill Bridge one, I actually sent it to the Mill Bridge themselves, and they seemed to like it. It didn't go off, and everything was closed up and locked up because of the show stoppers where everything was at in correlation to the office, just to tell people, hey, they have a pool here, they have a game room here, they have room and everything, and they have a playground. I still described everything that's there and available at that particular campground. And that's fun to do. But that's the next adventure, and that'll be our 4th campground with the RV. The first one is when we stayed there for overnight because we had to go from eastern Pennsylvania up to western Pennsylvania to pick up our RV, and when we picked it up, we broke half and stopped off at a small campground. Open up this weekend. If it's up in Wayne County, and where I was last week, I was actually up in Honesdale at a campground 70. It's the Honesdale Pocono KOA campground. My father actually has a seasonal spot up there. So we went a whole week. But I know Keene Lake up. I know we're always looking for some new place. Probably the longest trip that we're going to do this year, which we're going to try to do with it, is Watkins Glen. Some of the places off Lake Center. Our 3rd farthest trip would have been the Honesdale one, and our is actually going to be Knoebels in August. But stand by for those adventures. The RVs work. I'll do some of the camping things I wanted to do yet, but I thank you for asking me about the how it is to winter camp. If you're going to cook outside, if you're going to tent camp in the winter, have your food pretty much pre-made when you're ready to cook it. You don't want to be sitting out there in the cold, cooking everything up and stirring everything. Have it ready to go, so you're not spending a whole lot of time prepping. If you're going to do anything that needs to be cut it up at home, then bring it to the fire and cook it up where you need to do it. They'll do stews, little cans of stews, or you just put it in a pot and put it over the fire and you're good to go. Yourself a sleeping bag that's rated for at least -20 below. Get a pad for underneath, and get a few of those, depending on how, a few of those heavy duty reflector blankets that I told about. Put them underneath or tape them on the inside of your tent, with the reflector then facing toward you, and the ones that are underneath your tent, again, they're toward the bottom of your tent, so your heat stays in toward you. Catching a few of those Heritage units this morning. 2 of them rolled through early in the morning, and I couldn't get them. And I missed 1072 about a week ago. I was literally 200 feet away on the walk bridge, the Schuylkill, in Bettswood at Valley Forge Park. I was 200 feet away from the part of the bridge where so I couldn't get it. Yeah, so that's 3 of them that came through. The 10s are the 2 hardest ones for me to get. I'm always close, but never in the right area to nab them. That's where I try to get my intel, find out where I need to go. If down here for me, it'd be a lot easier. I could drive to the parking lot. It'd take me 5 minutes to get where I need to stand. I would have been able to get the Green Goblin. And Z just mentioned the Monongahela Heritage Unit is someplace in PA. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where that's going to be hitting at. videos up besides the stuff I'm putting to run with my page here. Guys, I think that's all I have for tonight. If you guys have any other questions, and with the next 1 minute, let me know. Other than that, I think we're going to close it up for this week. Wi-Fi, I will talk to you guys from Otter Creek. If I don't, I'll let you guys know, and I'll hit you back up the following weekend. Thank you for joining. Strasburg Railroad isn't opening. They haven't given a date yet. So what their plan is for the restrictions and the safeties for the COVID-19. But have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you slam that like button. Pass it around to me at subscribe. And I will see you guys down the line. Good night, everybody. Be safe.